license, driving without insurance, not wearing a seatbelt, having no tax disc displayed, driving over the legal speed limit, driving under the influence of alcohol, allowing another person to drive your vehicle under the influence of alcohol, in the region of £5,000 of parking fees owing, £6,000 of damage to property, charges of assault and abuse. The charges of attempted murder and robbery have been dropped. Shoplifting.
Any idea how much champagne costs these days? I was forced to steal it.
I must ask you to sit down and stop wasting the court's time. The sum of £50,000 to be paid by you in damages, and a further fine of £2,000. You will also be liable for all costs incurred. And finally, Mrs. Monsoon...
Can I just say one word in my defence?
I don't think that's a good idea, Mum. Your mouth is working for the prosecution.
Might get some little tips for the debating society. You never know. Without notes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Right. I, the proposed accused, think that... Well, I mean, you know... The day in question was not a good day for me, all right? But I had put it to you that I don't see how any day could have been the way this bloody country's run. But, you know, I was just trying to do my best. Trying to get from A to B, do a little shopping. I was trying to take control of my life, you know. Only to find that actually it is controlled for me by petty bureaucracy and bits of bloody paper, ignorant bloody petty rules and laws that just obstruct every tiny little action until you find you've committed a crime without even knowing. I mean, you know, why can't life just be made a little easier for everybody, huh? Why can't it be more like the continent? You know, where a man can just park his car on the pavement and then run down the street in front of charging bulls whilst letting fireworks off out of his bloody nostrils to the hen's eye. Huh? Because it's probably a local holiday and nobody's at work because they all want to have just a little bit of fun and they're not intimidated by some outdated work ethic. I mean, there has to be more to life than just being safe.
Is there a point to all this?
Yes. Yes. Why do we pay taxes? I mean, just to have bloody parking restrictions and buggery, ugly traffic wardens and bollocky pedestrian bloody crossings, you know? And those bastard railings outside shops so you can't even get in them. I mean, I know they're there to stop stupid people running into the street and killing themselves, but we're not all stupid. We don't all need nursemaiding. I mean, why not just have a stupidity tax? Just tax the stupid people.
I had a question about how the District of Columbia had taken over the states, and I actually have the answer for that, but the person who asked is kind of busy, and I want to make sure that they actually get the answer that they were asking for, actually. I will tell you this, though. The District of Columbia is no longer. It was given a brand new name. Can you believe it? The District of Columbia was actually made a state. However, because of how the Constitution was written up for that little 10-mile square area, it clearly wasn't created as a republic. And since all the states that come into the Union must be a republic, it could never join the republic. So what they did was change the name from District of Columbia to New Columbia. Now, as a kid, I was always wondering, why is the District of Columbia, that country down in South America, here, and why are we listening to them? So I'll go into that another time. But, yeah, it's actually called New Columbia, and for decades, they've been trying to get New Columbia into the Union. What's really funny is if you go and look at the representatives site for District of Columbia, you'll see one of their, even this year, it's up there. You'll see one of their things that they want to do is make New Columbia a state within the Union to get it admitted. So it's kind of funny that the District of Columbia representative knows it's really not District of Columbia, it's New Columbia. And so I've been trying to get a hold of her for some time to interview her about it, but she won't take any calls about that, I guess. She just won't do it. So instead of going over the whole how the little 10-mile square area is now ruling over all of the states, I'm going to go over, like I said, this little pamphlet that I found while I was searching for something else. It's called The Miracle That Changed the World, the 28 principles of our government here in America. It says here, discover the 28 fundamental beliefs of the Founding Fathers, which they said must be understood and perpetuated by every people who desire peace, prosperity, and freedom. These beliefs have made possible more progress in 200 years than was made previously in over 5,000 years. Thus the title, 5,000-Year Leap. This came from the National Center for Constitutional Studies. You can find their information at www.nccs.net. Okay, so number 1. I feel like I'm doing, I don't know, a top 10 countdown or something. Okay, number 1. The only reliable basis for sound government and just human relations is natural law. Okay, I really don't have a problem with this other than, where is this country that has a sound government? I'll move there tomorrow. So if anyone can tell me where this country is that has a sound government, let me know so I can pack my stuff and go. Number 2, a free people cannot survive under a Republican Constitution. They should have put a period there. Okay. A free people cannot survive under a Republican Constitution unless they remain virtuous and morally strong. Okay. So exactly who determines what's virtuous, morals, and even what the strong definition really means? Also, this is under. A free people cannot survive under. Oh, a free people cannot survive under anything, right? Because free people don't stand under anything. So, this is a little confusing. See, right off number 2. Okay, number 3. The most promising method of securing a virtuous people is to elect virtuous leaders. The most promising method of securing a virtuous people. Why would you want to secure a virtuous people? I'm confused. And again, okay, if that's what we want, to secure virtuous people, what country has virtuous leaders? Where are they? And are they actually saying that if you don't elect virtuous leaders, then you don't have virtuous people? Or is it just that the virtuous people aren't secured? I don't know. See, there's lots of ways you can look at this. Let's see. Number 4. Without religion, the government of a free people cannot be maintained. Okay, so a government must institute a religion over the free people. And that must be why here in America all churches are state-licensed churches, and all pastors or whatever are all state-licensed ministers. Okay, that kind of doesn't make sense since the people are supposed to be free, but okay. Again, we've got free people under something. Principle 5. All things were created by God. So God created government? I don't know. Okay, so all things are created by God, therefore upon Him all mankind are equally dependent and to Him are equally responsible. Okay. So all mankind are equally dependent and equally responsible. Now I'm confused because the only truly responsible people that I know are independent. This seems to be, I don't know, an oxymoron, like sovereign citizen. I don't know. I think I just might have to ponder that one later on. Number 6, all mankind were created equal. Okay, all mankind were created equal. Were. So we are no longer created equal? Is that why only those who own land could vote, and why women couldn't vote for a while, and so on and so on? Is it because all of mankind were created equal and are not created equal anymore? I don't know. Or is the key word created equal? If so, how does that work for the test tube babies? They certainly are not created equal. I mean, if they've been genetically altered, they actually might be created greater, right? Greater than? I don't know. Again, which is the key word here? Were created equal, or is the key word created? Number 7. The proper role of government is to protect equal rights, not to provide equal things. Okay, I can go along with that, but, The proper role of government is to protect equal rights. Okay, so which rights are those? It says here, there's a little footnote. The founders recognized that the people cannot delegate to their government any power except that which they have the lawful right to exercise themselves. Okay, so who dictates what lawful rights the people can exercise? And if you can exercise a right, why would you delegate that right to your government? I don't know. Number 8. Mankind are endowed by God with certain unalienable rights. And again, there's a little footnote here. It says, those rights, then, which God and nature have established, and are therefore called natural rights, such as are life and liberty, blah, 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 need not the aid of human laws to be more effectually invested in every man than they are, neither do they receive any additional strength when declared by the municipal or state laws to be inviolable. Okay, so unalienable rights are life and liberty. So we have 2 unalienable rights by looking at this. And it seems to me those are alienable because we have due process. The right to a speedy trial by our peers. And that due process, the right to the due process, can actually take away the 2, quote, unalienable rights, which are life and liberty. So, our only unalienable right is actually due process. But, wait a minute. Now with NDAA and Patriot Act and all the other crap they've passed here in America, even that is a alienable right. So Americans have no unalienable rights. I mean, if we start off with the 2, and then we see that this other right, not quite sure it's unalienable, for due process, I mean, all of this, okay. Principle 9, to protect human rights, God has revealed a code of divine law. Oh, good. A code. A code. So it's not clear. You gotta have this little secret cube or the magic paper to get the answer, right? So God's code is like our codes? United States codes? A code. See, code, I don't like that word. It tells me that only certain people have the key to that door. Only certain people have the magic magnifying glass that can read it. Not digging this one very well. Number 10, the God-given right to govern. Okay, it's a God-given right to govern. Okay, God-given right to govern is vested in the sovereign authority of the whole people. Wait. So the president or whomever the people elected, they give their own God-given right to govern themselves, basically. They give that right to someone else. Again, if you have the right to govern yourself, why would you choose to have someone else govern you? Free people are the sovereigns. They don't bow to anybody else. So, it's pretty clear that the free people, sovereigns, are actually choosing to not be free by giving their right to self-govern to somebody else. And obviously they do not want to be sovereign, but would rather be babysat. That makes them dependent and irresponsible, which above it says that people are equally dependent and responsible. So, see, this isn't making much sense. Who came up with this crap? Okay, Principle 11. The majority of the people may alter or abolish a government which has become tyrannical. Okay. Well, here, it's not supposed to be based on the majority. And as far as I can tell, most of the governments that I've looked at seem pretty tyrannical to me. So I can only assume either the majority of the people don't know that they can alter or abolish the tyrannical government, or that the majority of the people want the tyrannical government. I don't know. Too bad it doesn't say that a minority of the people may alter or abolish the tyrannical government. That'd be helpful. A majority of the people. Isn't that, I don't know, mob rule? I don't think that's supposed to be what's here in America. Let's see. 12. Number 12. The United States of America shall be a republic, not a democracy. So we're not supposed to have the mob rule, right? Because in our republic, it's supposed to be 99% cannot take away nor vote upon the rights or property of 1%, and 1% cannot take away nor vote upon the rights or property of 99%. But heck, that's never been the situation here, and we know that. Okay. All right, so number 13, a constitution should, not shall, should. Why doesn't it say shall? Should makes it optional. Okay. Okay, a constitution should be constructed, to permanently protect the people from the human frailties of their rulers. Human frailties. So, this should be constructed to permanently protect the people from human frailties of their rulers. But again, sovereign, free people do not have rulers, but here we are saying we need to protect them from the human frailties of the rulers. Again, should. Why should? Why doesn't it say shall? Okay. So the Constitution should, not shall, but should protect us from only the frailties of our rulers. And it says human frailties. So, what are the free sovereign people supposed to give their sovereignty to? A dog? An alligator? We don't have elephants here unless they were brought over. What else? Scorpion. Can the Constitution be construed to not protect me from the frailties of a scorpion? This doesn't make sense. So, again, the only thing the Constitution is supposed to protect us from, or should protect us from, is the frailties of rulers. Oh my goodness. Okay, 14. Life and liberty are secure only so long as the rights of property are secure. Well, life and liberty are not secure because the rights of property, I don't know, let's look at eminent domain. That definitely takes away the security of life and liberty, right? Okay, let's see. 15. The highest level of prosperity occurs when there's a free market economy. Well, and a minimum of government regulations. Well, that's what the banks are saying, at least for themselves. Okay, so right now we have the highest rate of poverty in America. Most people are making, I don't know, less than $5 a day, a dollar being an ounce of silver. So we are not having the highest level of prosperity because we don't have a free market and we do not have a minimum of government regulations. So, 16. The government should be separated into 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Should. Again, it's optional. Too bad they didn't add that the branches cannot ignore each other nor assist each other in violating the law of nations or natural law, because that's what number 1 was based on, natural law. And now we've got the president bypassing Congress, ignoring the court orders to release his identification, ignoring the court orders to appear in court, and now he can dictate who needs to be assassinated next, even without any evidence of a crime, a misdemeanor, nothing. Okay, 17, a system of checks and balances. We were just talking about this in the first hour. A system of checks and balances should be adopted. Again, should, not optional, should be adopted to prevent the abuse of power by the different branches of government. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, right. Okay, checks and balances. Well, they're definitely collecting and writing a lot of checks. And they're actually balances. They're hiding the real balances in the CAFR's comprehensive financial reports. And abuse of power. How can any of the branches abuse their power? If, it's obvious with what we looked at before that the people gave all of their power to the 3 branches. So what abuse could happen? I don't know. And there's a nice dog barking. 18. The unalienable rights of the people are most likely to be preserved if the principles of government are set forth in a written constitution. Wow, that worked great for, I don't know, maybe the first week, 5 weeks. And I don't know. Again, we're going with unalienable rights, which I already talked about, saying, it looked like there was only 2, life and liberty, which can be taken away, which makes it not so unalienable by due process, which is also not so unalienable because of the Patriot Act, NDAA, etc. Okay, so we don't even need to worry about 18. 19. Only limited and carefully defined powers should be delegated to government, all others being retained by the people. Well, yeah, again, that's worked. So far, so good. And maybe the first week, maybe up to the 6th week since the writing of this Constitution. The free people obviously have given all of their powers to this government. 20. Efficiency and dispatch require that the government operate according to the will of the majority. But they just said this is supposed to be a republic. Okay, but constitutional provisions must be made to protect the rights of the minority. Okay, so the rights of the minority must be protected, and the will of the mob must become the rule. Okay, wait. Constitutional provisions must be made to protect the rights of the minority. It doesn't say the provisions must be followed. So yeah, the government must and can perform the will of the majority. Makes sense. The majority. The majority. The majority. Is that the majority of the sovereign or the majority of the rulers? It must be the rulers, because all of the people gave all of their powers to the rulers. So the will of the majority is really the will of the rulers, which fits perfectly because Black's Law Dictionary defines statutes as the will of the legislature. And obviously executive orders are the will of the president. So, okay, now I know what this one means. 21. Strong local self-government is the keystone to preserving human freedom. Self-government. There is none because the locals have given their powers, rights to the rulers. Maybe that one was a warning. You know, just a warning. Hey, strong local self-government's the keystone to preserving human freedom, so don't give away your self-government rights. 22. A free people should be governed by law and not by the whims of men. Okay. Law is the whim of man, isn't it? I don't know. 23. A free society cannot survive as a republic. Should have put a period there. A free society cannot survive as a republic without a broad program of general education. We certainly have a broad program of general education, so that one gets a nice big check mark. 24. Free people will not survive unless they stay strong. I agree. But by giving your power to others, you get weak, just like if you don't exercise your arm, your leg. If you don't exercise your rights, they will become impaired. 25. Peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none. Okay, so when did America have peace? Because I can't think of the time when we really did. And if we haven't had peace at any point, is it because we entangled alliances? I don't know. Honest friendship with all nations? I can't say we've done that either. Hell, I personally haven't done that. There's a lot of people out there that I can't stand. That seems a little too big to do. Okay, 26. The core unit which determines the strength of any society is the family. Therefore, the government should foster and protect its integrity. I love the fact that they put foster in this, because we've got Child Protective Services that rips families apart and puts the kids into foster homes. Okay, so there is a semicolon here after family. So, family, semicolon. Therefore, the government should foster and protect its integrity. What do they mean, the government's integrity? I don't know. There's a footnote here. It says, there certainly is no country in the world where the tie of marriage is more respected than in America. Yeah, the tie of marriage is respected in America, unless you don't have a state marriage license and have a state-licensed minister marry you, or if you're gay. Otherwise, you get the utmost respect for your marriage, supposedly. 27. The burden of debt is destructive to human freedom, as subjugation by conquest. I completely agree. Debt is conquest. The banksters know this. I don't know. Look at the Revolutionary War. We went straight into debt with France, and the King of England. Thereby, I'd say we were self-destructive to our own freedom because we immediately went into debt. Okay, and final. The United States has a manifest destiny to be an example and blessing to the entire human race. Yeah, we're doing this wonderfully by bombing babies, stealing oil, guarding poppy farms, putting fluoride in water, forcing people to eat genetically modified food, having no evidence when determining who is to be murdered, etc., etc. And that, my friends, is the 28 principles of our government here in America. And it looks like the time is nearly up for you to have to listen to me any longer. So, let me see here. We've got Wilmac coming up next. And, geez, I hope he has a report on the Queen's 60th Jubilee celebrations. And, let's see, he's also going to discuss how the official offer may help you with those annoying utility bills. Amanda, Dawn Bulmer, and Kate will also be joining him. So, make sure you stay tuned, and I will see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place. And let me get some music on here so that we can get Wilmac on.